The following program is paid for by the Real Estate Radio Network.
You're listening to Real Estate Radio Fresno on 105.9 The FM KMJ. Now, live in studio, your host, local real estate expert, Craig Barton.
Good morning, Central Valley. I am your host, Craig Barton, and welcome to the Real Estate Radio Network, the most important hour of radio each week here on 105.9 The FM KMJ. Real Estate Radio is a show dedicated to bringing some rational thought to the crazy world that we live in and helping you to rebuild the Central Valley's housing and credit markets. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted advice, and it's exactly what you are going to hear every Sunday morning at 7 a.m. right here on 105.9, the FM KMJ. Thanks so much for joining us, Michelle. What? Don't make eye contact? You don't want me?
Well, I'm reading your notes, and it says, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah.
Then it goes into...
But you're shielding your face like you don't...
Because it's not... You haven't talked to me, really. You're still talking to the 11 million listeners.
Oh, gotcha. 11 million and one, just to
Oh, that's right. I forgot. We have that one of yours.
So thank you for joining us, Michelle.
Hey, thanks, Craig.
Getting up
thanks
so
for
early
having me.
This awesome, beautiful Sunday morning.
It is.
As always, it is so good to have our...
Me tormenting you?
Yeah, thank you. I'll rewrite the copy next time. Make sure to include that. Our special guest host, Michelle Pettis Cavalli, in the studio with us today. Michelle is a licensed realtor and a trusted friend that loves to torment me.
I do.
I think I'll add that.
I'm okay with that because I don't think anyone who knows me would argue it.
would argue with that whatsoever.
Not at all.
Just
not at
keep
all.
it lively. Well, Michelle, the Real Estate Radio Network gives us the opportunity to reach so many people efficiently for 1 full hour each and every week. And our goal at the Real Estate Radio Network is to get you the timely and accurate truth about your local real estate market so we can help bring you
back home.
I love it.
I do too. And I'm going to say right now, really quick.
Yeah.
Kate was amazing last week.
Didn't she do a great job?
She did a great job, and so we have to apologize for not getting to all of the subjects that we had on our agenda because Kate had so much information she was able to share. I really enjoyed Kate being on the show,
I
so
did
I'm
have
looking
a couple
forward to her.
comments on. You said you were going to tell. You said you guys were going to get to,
and we never got there.
How to win in today's real estate market. How to construct a competitive offer. What you need to look for when it comes time for, how do you structure the offer? What do you offer? Do you ask for a seller concession?
Right. We never really got there.
No, we never did.
Yeah, we'll get there.
I think Kate, when I said, don't worry, we've got 45 minutes, she took me to heart.
But it was awesome. I was really excited about the information she shared because it's a really good foundation going forward for her to come back and continue updating us.
Most definitely. She got us up to speed as far as financial markets are concerned last year as well as year to date. And on a go-forward basis, this next week we're going to have Kate back on the show. That's Kate Island with UBS Securities. And financial services. She's going to be back on the show this next week, and she will, from then on out, do our Market Watch segment.
Awesome.
Roughly 10, 12 minutes every single week after that.
Yeah, thanks for bringing her on. I like that.
Yeah, well, I'm glad she broke it down, didn't she?
She did.
That's great. Well, on today's show, I'm extremely excited. We've got Sal Hernandez, HUD Home Specialist, in the office with us, in the office with...
In the office?
Yeah, we're at the office
He's
right now.
not normally in the office. He's normally gone showing properties, but...
We actually had to go to a house to actually catch Sal, to actually spend the time.
Kidding. Do you know that when I need some open house additional signs for extra open house, I have to track him down because he's always got them in his car. Hey, Sal, I need to borrow one. Can I just borrow one today?
I've always accused just one.
Yeah, because he's usually got like 7 going on. I don't know how he keeps at all of them at the same time.
Right. Well, I've always accused you, Sal, of being one of the hardest working men in show business. So.
Oh, wow.
Flatter him. His head's going to grow.
Well, as we said, Sal Hernandez from Valley Wide Homes is a HUD Homes Specialist. And I mean that. Take that to heart. We are going to be spending some time with Sal today talking about those tips that help you get into a HUD home. What is a HUD home? Who can buy a HUD home? And what are the advantages of buying a HUD home? We're also going to share some very special tips that Sal has for you. that we believe buyers need when looking to purchase HUD homes. Thanks so much for being with us, Sal.
Thank you for having me here.
You know, if you have any real estate or real estate financing related questions or questions regarding the information that we share with you on our show, please call us anytime on our off-air number at 800-979-3958. Or you can check out our resources online. You can also listen to past shows from the Real Estate Radio Network on YouTube by going to our website at REOFresnoHomes.com, or use press 4 keyword
KMJ, call Valleywide,
to get connected to us anytime. We'd love to hear from you. You know, it's interesting that we said KMJ, call Valleywide. We've also gotten some great traffic to our website. Folks that are, and I'll talk about this a little bit later because I want to talk about press 4 first, but I wanted to make sure that I said we've gotten a lot of traffic from the radio show to our website and folks signing up for the search to find your new home. And you had asked me, so how's that working for you? It's amazing. We are getting probably 2 or 3 folks a day
just doing searches?
that are just doing searches.
Awesome.
It really is amazing. We're also able to track how much time they spend on the searches, what their searches are. We're able to follow up with those folks. Hopefully that's working for them really well, because I tell you what, it's extremely important to be efficient as far as your search is concerned, especially in today's market. So,
and I like that you have it on your email, just so you know.
That I have it on my email?
Yeah, you have different, the website.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All you got to do is email me.
Yeah. I saw Facebook's been added. I liked that, too.
Well, you heard us use press 4 keyword KMJ, call Valleywide. Well, we want to help show you that you'll only need one button for the rest of your life.
I'm going to add this one to my signature.
You are?
Sure, why not? I love it.
Actually, that's a great idea.
Bowling, the little press 4 ball.
Orange ball. Yeah, there you go. Well, we want to help show you that you can use one button for the rest of your life. What is press 4? Well, press 4 is for all those times that you're away from your computer, but you want to get information about our show. It just so happens that you're going to be listening to our show, and you'd like to get more information. We'll give you a key phrase or key set of words. You sign up for Press 4. You go to the Press 4 website at press4.com and follow the easy setup instructions. And you'll hear us say things like, during our show, you'll hear us say things like KMJ, call Craig, or KMJ, call Valleywide, or KMJ...
Hot property.
Exactly, hot properties. And we'll send you more information about whatever it is we're talking about right to your smartphone. And not only does it, there's a real efficient part of the tool on Press 4 that if you can go to your things on the Press 4 application, it'll show you every time that you've dialed into Press 4 and the key phrase that you've used.
So you can use it again?
Yeah, because
awesome.
it stores all that information there. It doesn't just send you a text message. Like if you were to say, use Press 4 keyword KMJ, call Valleywide, what ends up happening is it will send you a text message, and it will have our contact phone number, our, REO Fresno Homes web address, and then it'll send you, and then it will actually call in to us.
Right.
That's the key phrase that you use. Or if you say KMJ Hot Properties, it will send you the same text message with our contact information and our web address, but it'll also email you a PDF of the hot property or hot properties that we're showcasing that week.
Right.
Pretty cool stuff. And you don't have to stop. You don't have to pull over. You don't have to text. You don't have to remember, well, text 22343 to this particular number. I'm sorry, I've got ADHD. I'm already done.
I don't know that we don't want to share that. Come on now.
What's that TMI for you?
Well,
speaking of hot properties, let's take a look at today's hot properties. We actually have 2 hot properties. Both of these properties are HUD homes. And again, real quick, we are going to be talking about HUD homes a little later in the segment with Sal, right, Sal?
Yes, we are. We're going to go over all of the details about them and how you can get exceptional values and get into these homes.
Yeah, I tell you what, somebody said that to me the other day and said, don't you find that some of these HUD homes, this is kind of off track, but are exceptional values? I said, exactly.
That's the point.
They really are. And someone even made the comment, too, to me that, don't you think that HUD homes are priced slightly below market? And I said...
It sure seems that way. I mean, they price them at the appraised value, but for some odd reason, I mean, they're cheaper than what's out on the market.
Yeah.
Well, that's a whole nother.
I'd say competitively priced.
Yes.
Well, and let's be honest, they've had an appraisal done where a short sale hasn't necessarily had an appraisal done, nor have your traditional sales. So those folks are still potentially pricing theirs too high for the market.
Could be, certainly.
Yeah, or at least a higher price point, trying to drive up the market, maybe. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. Who knows?
Right. I think the market's doing a good job of driving itself up right at the moment.
Only the shadow knows.
Only the shadow knows. Well, the first property that we're featuring today is 558 North 16th Street in Kerman, 93630. This particular property is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,431 square feet, built in 2003. Raise your kids in the peace and quiet of this awesome little town, Kerman, California. I tell you what, just about 15 minutes west of Fresno on Highway 180, and Kerman Unified Schools. All this for only $133,000. Sal, I know that you and I both have been out to this particular property. Super clean little property, great little neighborhood. Did I say? Let's see, built in 2003, so relatively new.
That's what I was just looking for. I was looking for the year. That this one's it's a very clean property, and it even has the potential to converting it into a 4th bedroom.
Correct.
There's a little office space as soon as you walk in, and I mean you can open up the door on the other side and close off the wall, and you just got a 4-bedroom for $130.
Isn't that amazing?
When you put it into payments, I mean you're under $1,000 a month.
Sure.
Cheaper than rent.
And there is a huge attraction to Kerman, just for the simple fact you're 15 minutes away from Fresno. If folks don't want the big town and really want that small town feel, that is huge.
Well, the 180 keeps getting further and further in those directions, and those small towns, a lot of people
and then they keep making it wider and wider, too.
They're becoming little bedroom communities.
There's more people going out there, so there's more traffic.
Yeah.
But still quiet and... out in the farmland.
Anytime that you and I have seen a listing out in Kerman, we always know that it is going to attract tremendous, a tremendous amount of buyers. You're going to get traction.
Well, when you start looking at Kerman, you look at, to begin with, we're low on inventory overall throughout the cities, but, Kerman's small to begin with, so there isn't much inventory.
Sure.
And, there's lots of buyers in the town.
And in that price point. Oh, my gosh.
Yes, like I said, you can, once you do your financing, it's probably about $980, somewhere around there a month. So, that's when you're looking at rent. I just got a call from somebody today on the house. They're like, hey, we're paying $1,100 and we live 4 houses down. What do we need to do to buy it?
Right.
Exactly.
So,
That's super. Well, today's second hot property is located 1188 West Ellery Way in Fresno, 93711. A nice area as well. Go ahead.
That's an amazing area.
Yeah,
really, truly big lots, established neighborhood.
Estate-sized lots.
It's really a beautiful property.
15,600 square foot lot with a pool. This particular property, 4-bedroom, 3-bath, south of Sierra between Fruit and West, correct?
And I'm going to tell you, driving by does not do this house justice.
Yeah.
You have to go in.
Yeah.
It's one of those houses where maybe the curb appeal needs a little bit of flowering and things. But let me tell you, that is an amazing house. They've just redone tile in the kitchen. There's some nice upgrades to it. It's just a really nice spread out ranch house. It's
property
really
was built in 1969, but has been updated. Extremely important to note. With a pool. All this and Bullard Schools, this property's been updated and appraised for $270,000. If you'd like more information about today's hot properties, please give us a call anytime on our off-air numbers at 800-979-3958 or use press 4 keyword KMJ.
Hot property.
Hot property. We'll also put you in contact with Sal. Sal is our resident home expert. We'll put you in contact with Sal, and let me tell you, you got a whole lot better chances of getting an offer accepted when you're working with him. We'll send you more information about these hot properties right to your phone. Look for more hot properties each week right here on the Real Estate Radio Network. Find your new home. How hard is it to find your new home? We were talking about it earlier, talking about the website, the number of folks that are advertising as well as the Real Estate Radio Network is helping them to drive traffic to the website. So many folks signing up. What's the inventory? What's inventory like out there right at the moment, Sal, in terms of just gross numbers?
Well, when you start looking at inventory, there's more buyers than there is homes out there currently available. I was reading a report the other day off of Realtor.com that this year, at the current time, we have about 40% less inventory than we did last year.
Isn't that wild?
So when you start looking at that, and buyers, summertime's coming up. It's just like with any other business, the summertime it picks up. And so, more buyers come out. Everybody wants to, purchase their home before their kids get started into the new school year. And so, with more buyers out there, it's just more competitive.
Sure.
So, inventory is hard. So, working with somebody that's going to help you find the home, put you in the right path. That's extremely important.
Being organized, as we mentioned earlier, we're going to talk this next week about how to construct a competitive offer. In other words, what to expect. Do you ask for a seller concession? Should you ask for a seller concession? Really, how do you give your offer the greatest chance to be accepted in today's current marketplace? Because I talk to people day in and day out, and it seems like I'm re-educating consumers, which is okay. Mm-hmm. It's part of what we do. But re-educating consumers on, so really what's the market like? Mm-hmm. And, well, if you can ask for a seller concession, I need cash. Well, you need to save cash, because at the point down the road that you find that property that is really the property that you want, how are you most competitive? It's offering a good, solid price, especially in a competitive offering situation, and making sure that your net, as far as your offer is concerned, is competitive as well. If everyone else is asking for 3%,
yeah, that's usually when I tell buyers. It's I put it in these terms to buyers, because everybody thinks, hey, we need the closing costs, even though they might have the cash. Tell them, look, when you're the seller, I always give them the example of, okay, if you're selling your car,
great example,
okay, and let's just say you're selling it for $1,000. Mm-hmm. And you get an offer from somebody, hey, we'll give you $1,000 for your car. Somebody else comes in and says, hey, we'll give you $1,000, but we need you to pay $300 of all the taxes for the car and do the repairs.
Right.
Who are you going to sell the car to?
Exactly.
The person that's giving you the full price offer.
Perfect example.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
And that's the same thing with closing costs. I mean, once you ask for closing costs, you're actually reducing the amount that you're offering to the seller.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, the money comes from somewhere.
Yes.
There's not a concession cost cloud that just, pours
I always
it
say
out.
highest net to the seller is typically what gets it. I was speaking with a buyer yesterday morning. Was it yesterday morning? Yesterday morning. And she said, it looks like I might have to purchase this cash. And I said, well, explain to me why you need to be purchasing this cash. She goes, well, isn't cash king? And I said, no, net is king. Mm-hmm. There's an asset manager, a seller, a negotiator that will wait for the highest net, and the highest net is what will get that property. So it doesn't matter that you're paying cash. Why would you as a seller, utilizing Sal's, as Jeff would call it, flip the script, why would you as a seller want to take 10% less just because it's cash? You're going to close, you want quick cash? No, I'll wait. I've been waiting all this time. I'll go ahead and I'll take the higher net. So it is important to be organized. We'll talk next week about how to construct a solid and competitive offer. Make sure that we set the right expectation. And it's extremely important that we have someone like Sal or Michelle on your side when it comes time to navigating the waters and being out in the market and being competitive, but also not setting the wrong expectations. Setting the right baseline expectation as far as what it takes to be successful in today's market, I think, is critical. Wouldn't you both agree?
Mm-hmm. No, it is. I mean, you have to know what's out there. I was talking to a client yesterday. He's like, yeah, I'm about to fire my real estate agent because he's not finding anything for me. I stepped back and I said, well, he was, I want to work with you. I'm like, wait a minute. Your real estate agent, he probably is out there looking for stuff, but because inventory is so low, everything is so competitive,
right,
you have to be careful how you structure your offers. You're not going to be getting into properties.
Right. Did you ask them also how he was finding properties for him, whether he had a portal set up for him?
Yeah, you know what, I did, and I mean, this real estate agent that was helping him, he's pretty much hitting on everything.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There is just, the market is competitive out there, and so people, I mean, they hear news that, there's lots of houses out there, and so, I mean, you get into that mindset of saying, hey, it should be easy for me to find a house. It should be easy for me to offer $20,000 under.
Yeah, but the national news isn't applicable to our county at all moments.
It is always our little microcosm here.
Yes.
We are under our own little toadstool.
Yep. That's true.
When it comes right down to it. Well, when it comes to being efficient, if you'd like us to help, Sal or Michelle could help you as far as setting up your search. Give us a contact anytime on our off-air number at 800-979-3958, or use press 4 keyword KMJ, call Valleywide, and either Michelle or Sal can help set up a search for you. Well, after the break, we are going to get into the meat and potatoes of the show. We are going to talk with Sal Hernandez from Valleywide Homes, our local as well as resident HUD home specialist, to help you get all the up-to-date news about what is a HUD home. If you don't know what a HUD home is, you're going to want to stay tuned. Well, I tell you what, we look forward to seeing you on the other side of the break. You're listening to the Real Estate Radio Network on 105.9, the FM KMJ.
program is brought to you by the Real Estate Radio Network. Visit realestateradio.us for more info. That's realestateradio.us.
Thinking about buying a home? Find out how the HUD Home Store can help you. Visit HUDHomestore.com. Look at HUD homes available for sale near you or nationwide. Why HUD Home Store? HUD will pay up to 3% of the buyer's closing cost. The price of the home is based on an FHA as-is appraisal, which is already completed, saving you an average of $400. And there is an owner-occupant priority bidding period during the first 30 days. Want to know more? Visit HUDHomestore.com.
Mortgage interest rates are at historic lows, and there's never been a more affordable time to buy real estate. Whether you're looking for your first home, moving up, or your next income-producing property, let the mortgage professionals at Valley White help. Valley White Homes has been helping homeowners with their mortgage needs since 1997. When it comes to the Valley's real estate, we know our way around the neighborhood. Call toll-free 800-979-3958 and put the seasoned professionals at Valley White Homes to work for you. Valley White Homes, NMLS number 342062, 235-952, California Department of Real Estate License 0122-8460.
You're listening to Real Estate Radio Network with local expert Craig Barton. Now, here's Craig.
Well, before the break, we told you we were going to sit down and have a little chit-chat with Sal Hernandez from Valley White Homes, our local resident HUD home specialist. Sal, thanks so much for getting up with us this morning.
Thank you. I'm still trying to wake up here.
We're talking about HUD homes, and I'll be real honest, and I've shared this with you before, and it's okay. I'm okay with me. I used to think when I heard the term HUD home or I heard the term FHA financing back in the day when I first got into the industry that FHA loans were made by the Department of Housing and Urban Development. I didn't understand truly and completely the mechanism as to what is a HUD home. And I tell you what, this is probably one of the first questions that you get when clients are calling in, Sal, isn't it?
That is true. Usually that's the first thing they ask me. And I always give them the definition of a HUD home, that it is a home that has been foreclosed on a federally insured loan. But, and then I get the blank look. Well, okay, what does that mean to me? Okay, well, what it means to you, it's an exceptional value. Yeah. That's what a HUD home is. I mean, some of these homes are in great condition. And so, I mean, overall, you get to buy a house as an owner-occupant, and you get the priority overall. And you beat out all the investors. So, I mean, as a HUD home, basically what it is, it's a home priced at an exceptional price that allows you as a buyer to get into it and not have to compete against investors.
That's pretty super. Let's talk about the mechanism as far as what exactly happens. Someone, a lender, let's say, makes an FHA loan that is insured by HUD. That particular file is maybe sold directly to Ginnie Mae, or it might be sold to Bank of America or Chase or Citi. But
stop there.
Yes.
Sorry. When you do an FHA loan and it is insured by HUD, there are requirements that are different than other lenders. So that's the part when Sal's saying it's an exceptional value. It's because we know when that house was taken possession of by the owner or the past owners, the paint wasn't chipping off the walls. It was in good condition. It was inspected. It was in prime condition.
Yes.
Is really what an FHA HUD-insured home is a requirement, that it be in that kind of condition when it was last transferred.
Has to meet HUD's minimum property requirements.
Correct. Where other lenders don't necessarily have the same requirements. No. So I think that's the part that people don't realize.
Other homes, I mean, once other properties that aren't HUD, I mean, some of them are falling apart. And like you were mentioning, chip paint and everything. Right. I mean, one of the requirements on these HUD homes is if you're getting a FHA loan to finance it, it has to go through an inspection process. And the chip paint, anything built prior to 1978, has to be, there can't be any lead-based paint and so forth.
So HUD would not have insured it had it not been in prime condition when it was transferred the last time. Now, that doesn't mean that there aren't some HUD homes out there that have deficiencies now because of the previous owners or while it's been vacant. But
good point.
Nonetheless, I just wanted to point that out when you say exceptional value. There is a different requirement there. Some try to follow the FHA guidelines and the HUD requirements, but generally speaking, there's a different standard that we expect.
Most definitely. And a higher standard, to be sure.
Yes.
So, Sal, talk about the first step in buying. so many folks want to put the cart before the horse and start looking.
Yeah, one of the first steps in buying is to get pre-approved.
So important.
That's the most important part. You don't want to be out there looking at homes, especially if you don't know the amount you're pre-qualified for. Mm-hmm. You can be looking out of your price range, and so that's the extreme importance. You also want to be working with a lender that can work and deal with HUD homes. Mm-hmm. There are exceptional values out there. You don't want to get pre-approved originally by somebody that doesn't know how to offer you that and be able to finance a HUD home. Mm-hmm. Next thing you know, one of these houses that comes out on the market is a HUD home, and that's going to exclude you from that because you're going to have a hard time going into it. And so there's always, you can get pre-approved by whoever. I have one loan currently right now. It's going to fall apart because the lender can't work through some issues within their own organization. I won't mention the lender, but there is you have to work with somebody that knows how to do these HUD deals. So
familiar with and understands.
So the first thing is getting pre-approved.
Well, and additionally, ask your agent. Ask your agent who they work with, because I think that's very, very beneficial to a buyer. If an agent's going to be showing you HUD properties, they want to make sure you have all of your ducks in a row. Mm-hmm. So, lean on that agent for some advice, or at least ask them for a couple referrals. That always will help you too.
And I understand. Yes. I know that for a fact that you're really great about working with agents. If they have questions regarding HUD properties, that they can call and utilize you as a resource.
Yes, anytime. Other agents, ultimately our job here is to sell the HUD properties. If it's one of our listings, there was a buyer that was last day. He was going to, he really needed to write it up, and he couldn't get a hold of his agent. He told me he was working with his agent. I wrote up the offer, and ultimately we did a broker agreement referral, paid him 100% of his commission, and the agent didn't write it up. That's one of the things we really strive for, helping other agents out.
That's awesome.
Any other company, they would have, I wrote it up, I'm going to take the commission.
Not all our companies. There's some good ones out there who would have been the same, but you're right.
They are your friends.
You help them out. Yeah. And so, any questions, we're welcome from agents, and we'll walk you through the entire process.
Certainly. So once you have gotten yourself pre-approved, most important thing, set that baseline expectation in terms of what is the maximum that you can qualify for, but most importantly, what is it in terms of monthly payment that you feel comfortable with. May not be at your maximum, but it may be at the max in terms of your comfort level is concerned. Where can you find HUD homes?
Main place to find HUD homes is first and foremost, you contact a real estate agent. They're going to walk you through it. But you can go on the website, HUDHomestore.com, and you can search any HUD home in the United States. Basically, it's a real simple search. You go log on, go to the website, you enter your state and your county and hit enter, and it'll pull everything up within that county. If you want to go into a more detailed search, plug in the city or even the zip code. The more information you plug into it, the less of the result it's going to give you, but it's going to be more drilled down. That's the number one place to find any HUD homes, any HUD property. Key is if it's on the website, regardless of what any agent tells you, if it's on the website, it's available for sale.
Gotcha.
Okay, so if you're out been shopping the market, you'll run into the thing of, hey, I submitted an offer, we haven't heard, or you'll get the response the property isn't available anymore, but you see it on your internet as available. Main thing, go to the HUD Home Store website. If it's on there, it's available. If it's not on there, it's not available. It's already in contract.
So getting approved to sell a HUD home, very difficult?
No, real easy process. You just every real estate broker, that the actual broker has to apply for a NAIDS number, go through the process. There really isn't a. Basically, they have to be a licensed broker in the state of California or where they're going to be planning to sell a home, and fill out answer a couple questions, submit their application, and they can get approved. Once the broker is approved, then any selling agent under the broker can sell the HUD home.
Gotcha. And then once the broker is approved and is registered on the HUD Home Store website, then the agent needs to register as well.
Yes, extremely important. The agent needs to register, especially when you start looking at the bigger offices. The brokered NAID number. If you submit an offer under your brokered NAID number, your broker's the one that's going to get the response saying, hey, you've got this deal accepted. You have 48 hours to return these contracts. More than likely, your broker isn't going to get back to you until it's too late.
Because they have 320 emails that they've got to get to.
Exactly. So it's very important as an agent, once your broker's registered, you go online and register yourself.
Gotcha.
And that way you get all the information.
And that way you are approved to sell HUD homes as well. If in the process that a broker has applied for a NAID number and has not received it yet because, let's say for some reason that HUD is backed up, you had mentioned earlier that particular broker can also do a referral agreement with you and Valleywide.
Yes, anything that we sell, that we list, they can do a referral agreement. We'll be willing to submit the offer for them. We do pay 100% of the selling commission back to the selling agent.
Gotcha.
We ask for a $99 E&O deduction to cover our E&O insurance.
Gotcha.
That's pretty fair once you start looking at, most agencies just to do a referral. Everybody wants to do a big split. We're 100% less $99.
Gotcha. That's pretty
super. We want to sell these HUD homes, and we want to help other agents that don't have the NAID number to sell them as well.
Friendly for other brokers and other agents, to say the least.
Yeah.
How important, again, stress on how important it is when you're a consumer working with an agent that is familiar with HUD homes. How important is it?
It's extremely important to be working with agents. If you're looking to buy a HUD property, your agent needs to know and understand the HUD process. There's going to be some tremendous savings. Like we were saying, it's competitive out there right now. You have to know how to write these offers. You have to know where to, make some savings. For instance, you're not going to have to pay an appraisal fee if you're doing FHA loans. So that's going to be $500 savings. So in essence, when you're asking for closing costs, knock $500 off of your closing costs that you're requesting. That $500 could be the difference between, you or somebody else getting the bid accepted.
Understanding how to structure that offer
Understanding
is
how to structure
so critical.
it. Exactly.
Sure.
So working with the real estate agent that understands the process, understands the savings of buying HUD homes, and that allows you to structure your offer and capture all those savings and be able to win the bid instead of just writing up a straight offer saying, okay, we're going to do this. We need 3%, when in reality you might not need 3%. You might only need 2%. And like I said, for difference of a penny on a HUD deal can make the difference of you getting the bid or losing it.
Super critical.
Yeah.
Super, super critical. I tell you what, let's take a break real quick. If you have any real estate or real estate financing related questions or questions for Sal or Michelle regarding the information that we cover on our show here today, we would so love to hear from you. Call us anytime on our off-air number at 800-979-3958. You can also check out our resources online, and you can listen to past shows as well of the Real Estate Radio Network on YouTube by going to our website at reofresnohomes.com, or just use press 4 keyword KMJ, call Valleywide to get connected to us anytime. Well, after the break, we're going to continue our conversation with Sal Hernandez from Valleywide Homes, our resident HUD home specialist. We will see you on the other side of the break. You are listening to the Real Estate Radio Network here on 105.9, the FM KMJ.
This program is brought to you by the Real Estate Radio Network. Visit realestateradio.us for more info. That's realestateradio.us.
Thinking about buying a home? Find out how the HUD Home Store can help you. Visit HUDHomestore.com. Look at HUD homes available for sale near you or nationwide. Why HUD Home Store? HUD will pay up to 3% of the buyer's closing cost. The price of the home is based on an FHA as-is appraisal, which is already completed, saving you an average of $400. And there is an owner-occupant priority bidding period during the first 30 days. Want to know more? Visit HUDHomestore.com.
All it takes is one call to the professionals at Valleywide Homes, and you'll start building wealth in real estate. Whether you're looking for your first home, moving up, or your next income-producing investment property, let the experts at Valleywide Homes help. There's never been a better time to get into the real estate market. Visit our website at reofresnohomes.com or call toll-free 800-979-3958. That's 800-979-3958. And put the seasoned professionals of Valleywide Homes to work for you.
You're listening to Real Estate Radio Network with local expert Craig Barton. Now, here's Craig.
Well, we're continuing our conversation with Sal Hernandez, HUD Home Specialist from Valleywide Homes here locally in Fresno. Sal, talking about HUD homes, who can buy a HUD home? I think this is really, and you touched about it earlier, who's eligible to purchase a HUD home?
Anyone can buy a HUD home. It's open to everybody. There is time frames. For instance, the first, if a property is insured that it will qualify for FHA financing, there is a time frame of 30-day period. Only owner occupants. If you're going to live in the property for the next 12 consecutive months, you can buy a HUD home. On the 31st day of that property still available for sale, then second time buyers, investors, anybody can buy a HUD home.
So second home or investors, right?
Yes,
Gotcha.
Anybody can buy it. So ultimately it's open to everybody. There is just a time restraint on whether if you're a owner-occupant or an investor. When you start looking at the owner-occupant, you might say, well, hey, I'm going to live in the property. One of the things is you cannot have purchased a HUD home within the last 24 months as a owner-occupant.
Gotcha.
To buy another HUD home.
Gotcha.
Again, they are exceptional value, so sometimes there's homeowners that buy one HUD home and, a couple months down the road, they're like, hey, we want to buy another HUD home. Okay, so there is restrictions, and HUD strives for home ownership. And so that's one of the reasons why they set this rule. So again, it's 24 months. Previously, you could have not purchased a HUD home, and you do have to live in the house for 12 consecutive months following the close of escrow.
Gotcha. And just to clarify as well, we had a property that was up on Manzanita up in Bass Lake, and that particular home, it was confusing for some agents because they said, I know one agent in particular that we were having the conversation, and she said, well, the folks, my clients are eventually going to want to make this their primary residence. And I said, but the intent is they're not going to be able to move here for 6 months. So it's not going to be their primary residence.
Yes.
They're not going to rent it out, they said, but it's going to be a second home. They're moving from Texas. Well, guess what? Those folks would not be eligible to place an offer on a HUD home until it's been on the market at least 30 days.
31 days, yeah. Exactly. It has to be the first 30 days owner occupants. And so from me looking at it, I think they made up that rule for, somebody that, hey, we're going to live in the property, saying they're going to live in it, and next thing you know is, they turn around and buy it and they rent it out.
Right.
But they're saying their actual intention was we were going to live in it. So, one of the rules is you have to occupy the property immediately after close of escrow for 12 consecutive months.
Gotcha. And how are all bids submitted on HUD homes?
All bids are submitted using a local real estate agent that's approved to sell HUD homes. So if you're working with a realtor, they're the only ones that can submit an offer for you. So that's extremely important. Contact your local real estate agent and find out, can they submit HUD home offers for you? If they can't, do they know somebody? Do they work with somebody that can submit the offers for you? You don't want to be excluded from HUD homes.
Certainly.
After, you deal with the agent, you go find your home, and basically your agent submits the offer electronically. Everything is submitted. From one of the differences, though, that catches everybody off guard as a buyer, your agent will ask you for your Social Security number. All HUD homes, in order to submit an offer, all HUD purchases are tracked off the buyer's Social Security number. Again, they want to make sure you haven't purchased another HUD home within the last 24 months, and they try to make it fair for everybody.
Sure.
So that's one of the main reasons why they ask for that.
Sure.
And everything is submitted electronically, goes into the system, and most of the time you'll get a response within about a week and a half. If a property's been listed on the market, just new, by the 11th day, all bids are open and a response is issued. If no offers were submitted within that time frame, then the bidding is open on a daily basis, meaning you'll more than likely have a response the next business day you submit an offer. That's pretty quick.
Gotcha.
When you start looking at every other seller out there. takes 5-6 days for them even to respond to you. On a HUD property, it's pretty quick.
Yeah, certainly. Now, I know you've also said that you get comments or you get questions quite a bit where agents will call up and say, so do you have any offers on this particular property? And obviously that's a clue that the folks aren't necessarily too familiar with the HUD process. Elaborate on that real quick.
Yes, like I said, every offer is submitted electronically. HUD strives for equal opportunity for everybody, and this also holds true on submitting offers. Nobody has the upper hand. Pretty much, you submit an offer, it's all done electronically. No one else knows except the agent that submitted that offer, meaning you won't have a better advantage by using the listing agent. Even though we are the listing agent, we'd like you guys to use us, you will not have a better advantage by using us in the sense of knowledge
right.
on price. Right. Everything is
it's sealed bid.
It's a sealed bid. It's confidential, and so it is a fair process. Where you do have the advantage of using this is that we know what expenses you can save on if you need closing costs, where we can give you the better advantage in telling you you don't need to ask for this much closing costs. You can reduce your closing costs by this, and it'll be the same. And the net to HUD will be higher, meaning hopefully you'll get the offer accepted.
And touch on that real quick. You had mentioned earlier that the maximum seller concession that you could ask for on a HUD property is how much?
The maximum seller concession is 3% of the purchase price.
Gotcha.
You can ask for 3% of it, and most of the time you won't need the full 3%.
Yeah. And most importantly, in today's market, especially in Fresno or the Central Valley, if you don't need it, don't ask for it because, as you mentioned also, it could be a penny that separates you from the higher net that actually gets awarded that particular bid on the property.
Yes, I've seen I've bid on properties where we've asked for closing costs or we've asked for certain expenses, and where we haven't got the property. And when I see the selling price, I've seen it in cases where I've seen it was $50 difference. We lost it over $50.
Yeah.
So it's like I mean, when you start thinking about it, it's you don't always need to ask for all the closing costs.
Sure.
That will make a difference, especially in our market right now. But HUD will pay up to 3% closing cost.
Gotcha. But ultimately, it is the net. And you had also mentioned that offers are opened on the 11th day, and so after the 11th day, from there on out, the bidding deadline becomes.
It is daily. The bidding deadline is daily. In essence, if let's say, for instance, the house is listed at $100,000, and somebody comes in on Saturday, and it's going to end daily that night at 11:59. With 59 seconds Central Standard Time.
Gotcha.
You come in, you submit a $100,000 offer beforehand. The following day is Sunday. Somebody comes in and it offers $1 million for that property. Okay, because the bidding time frame is daily. Person that submitted that offer on Saturday is going to get the offer, and they're not going to look at the $1 million offer the following day. So that's just really important. Sometimes, I mean, you as a buyer, you start saying, "Hey, I need to think about this. I need a couple days to think about it." On a HUD home, a couple days, you might lose the bid.
Sure. And that Saturday offer that's presented Saturday before the deadline, 11:59 Central Standard Time, HUD will review those offers first thing come Monday morning, and the selling agent will have a response. If their offer was selected, they'll have a response in their mailbox by
Monday noontime at the latest. Usually.
Awesome.
Yeah, so it's the following business day, usually around noon. I've submitted offers, and by 9 in the morning the following business day I have a response.
And what a phenomenal turn time, because you talk to some folks and they say, "Oh, well, we submitted an offer on a Bank of America REO, and that was 7 days ago, and we have yet to." Yeah, because
and then 10 days later you get a counter saying, "Oh, submit highest and best."
I'm down the road. I've lost interest. I'm looking at something else.
Yes,
but it's very true.
Yeah, HUD Homes extremely easy process, and again, exceptional savings, 3% closing costs. Escrow fees are paid by HUD. The price of the home is based off of FHA appraised value. Again, all of these things add up, and they do save you money.
Fantastic. And again, to touch on what you said earlier, Michelle, when it comes time to conditions, there's three or four standard conditions that the property is identified. Touch on those real quick before we go to the break.
Conditions.
In terms of insured.
Okay.
Insured
when
with
you start looking at the properties, there's an insured property which will qualify for FHA financing, meaning no repairs are required. One of the benefits of buying a HUD home is that you can actually buy a home that needs a little bit of repairs as an insured with escrow. They allow you to finance up to $5,000 of repairs as long as they're minimum property required repairs that are needed by FHA.
And called by the appraiser.
Gotcha. So in essence, it'll allow you to buy something that if it was listed by a different bank, you wouldn't have the opportunity of buying that house because it needed a water heater, let's say. On a typical sale, that would exclude an FHA buyer. On a HUD property, that doesn't exclude you. It allows you to finance that repair into your loan, so giving you that opportunity. The other property type is uninsured. Uninsured properties, basically, they will not qualify for FHA financing. They will either qualify for cash, 203K loans, or conventional financing. These, again, time frames on these are a little bit different. The first 10 days are available to owner-occupants. After that, on the 11th day, it's opened up to everybody. Also part of uninsured, there's some uninsured properties that won't allow you to do 203K financing. Those are going to be cash or conventional only.
And that means that FHA does not want those back in their book of business.
Yes.
Right. Because let's be honest, the condition of the property is it might need to be a tear down and new construction of a house.
Hey, Sal, you had one of those up on Toll House, and that was that one up on Toll House. It was really a rough property. We were
there's another HUD property right now that I went to look at yesterday, and they've built on. They've added to the house. You can tell it's all unpermitted construction because you can see through the walls, but they've added to it, and that's uninsured property.
That's a problem.
A UK uninsured, no 203K. That's going to be cash.
Wow, amazing.
But the 203K though brings it up to FHA standards.
Yes.
So anything that's 203K,
it's allowed
doable, meaning we're going to give you above $5,000 if necessary on your loan to bring this up to our standards. Yeah,
that's one of the things. The HUD will identify the property types. If they identify it as a UI, meaning it's uninsurable, but it is insurable with an FHA loan, that gives a home buyer a great opportunity to be able to buy a fixer-upper at a lower cost.
And fix her up.
And fix it up.
Yeah.
Fix it up and finance everything. Typically, those deals are only available to investors that are buying cash.
Right.
And so as a home buyer, you actually get the opportunity
to compete with
that.
What a great opportunity, though, too. Seriously.
And HUD doesn't discriminate against a type of loan. Cash, everybody is treated equally. A cash buyer is treated as equal as an FHA buyer. It all comes down to the bottom line.
Net to HUD.
Net to HUD.
At the end of the day.
Yes.
Super. On that note, let's take a quick break. If you've got any real estate or real estate financing related questions or questions for us, Sal, myself, or Miss Michelle, regarding the information that we cover on the show, we'd love to hear from you. Call us anytime on our off-air number at 800-979-3958. Or you can check out our resources online, and you can listen to past shows from the Real Estate Radio Network on YouTube by going to our website at REOFresnoHomes.com. Or just use press 4 keyword
KMJ, call Valley-wide
to get connected to us anytime. Well, after the break, we're going to continue our conversation with Sal Hernandez, HUD Home Specialist from Valley-wide Homes. We will see you on the other side of the break if you're listening to the Real Estate Radio Network here on 105.9, the FM KMJ.
This program is brought to you by the Real Estate Radio Network. Visit realestateradio.us for more info. That's realestateradio.us.
Thinking about buying a home? Find out how the HUD Home Store can help you. Visit HUDHomestore.com. Look at HUD homes available for sale near you or nationwide. Why HUD Home Store? HUD will pay up to 3% of the buyer's closing cost. The price of the home is based on an FHA as-is appraisal, which is already completed, saving you an average of $400. And there is an owner-occupant priority bidding period during the first 30 days. Want to know more? Visit HUDHomestore.com.
Mortgage interest rates are at historic lows, and there's never been a more affordable time to buy real estate. Whether you're looking for your first home, moving up, or your next income-producing property, let the mortgage professionals at Valley White help. Valley White Homes has been helping homeowners with their mortgage needs since 1997. When it comes to the Valley's real estate, we know our way around the neighborhood. Call toll-free 800-979-3958 and put the seasoned professionals at Valley White Homes to work for you. Valley White Homes, NMLS number 342062, 235-952, California Department of Real Estate License 0122-8460.
You're listening to Real Estate Radio Network with local expert Craig Barton. Now, here's Craig.
Well, we're continuing our conversation with Sal Hernandez, HUD Home Specialist from Valley White Homes here locally. Sal, talk to us real quick and let our listeners know, how is a HUD home best financed?
A HUD home is best financed using FHA financing. Reason I say that's where you get the most savings. You don't have to pay for an appraisal. Appraisal is $500, so automatically you save that. And there is, since the appraisal is already completed, there isn't any re-inspections of the property. Typically, if you're using a lender that is familiar with doing HUD loans. So best financing is FHA financing.
Owner-occupied.
Owner-occupied.
Appraisal already done.
Yes.
Don't have to wait for the appraisal to be completed.
No, so your loan can move quicker. I mean, but nowadays, loans, being reviewed, appraisers getting out there, it takes time. So on a HUD property, if you're doing FHA financing, it's going to move quicker because you're already starting off right off the back. You'll have your appraisal done. Title has most of the paperwork on the property as well, so everything is completed. And
one of the things I wanted to bring up here that I thought is extremely important with regards to FHA financing and HUD homes as well is talk about a termite report real quick, only with FHA financing.
FHA financing. If with any seller out there, if you submit an offer and termite repairs, right now, because most properties are sold as is, most lenders are selling their properties as is, termite repairs are your responsibility. If you're using,
and that could be sizable,
yes,
really, if you don't know what you're getting into. Yeah,
we had one a while back ago up in the mountains. It was over $12,000, I believe, in
Squaw Valley.
In Squaw Valley,
yeah.
It was a sizable expense.
I showed up to do our final inspection on that property, and from a certain vantage point, it looked like the house was brand new because every side that you could see visually from that vantage point, it was all replaced. Brand new siding, the whole thing.
Yeah, so that's another benefit, buying a HUD home using FHA financing. HUD pays for all the Section 1 repairs to get this deal closed.
That is such a huge value that you have that completed. So termite report, HUD pays for all Section 1 repairs. If the property is older than 1978, there's also a lead-based paint inspection,
There's a lead-based paint inspection. They pay up to $5,000 in lead-based stabilization. If the property has an over $5,000 in lead-based stabilization, then it puts a twist in things because you can't do FHA financing anymore.
Gotcha.
So, but again, you're protected. Most lenders out there that are selling homes, most banks, you do your inspection, you're probably past your inspection time frame and you're going to lose your deposit. Mm-hmm. With the HUD home, you don't have to worry about your deposit. If something like that comes up and the property doesn't qualify for FHA financing anymore because of a lead-based paint inspection or because of any other reason that you find, they will allow you to back out of the contract within 15-day time frame and get your deposit back. Yes.
Sorry. Like lead-based paint stabilization,
yes.
Is that eligible for 203K or not eligible, or is it totally dependent?
It's,
are they going to call it based on that? If it's over 5,000?
I believe you can do 203K. You can go ahead and do a 203K loan provided the appraisal supports it.
Okay.
On that, so it would just be your 203 guidelines. But yes, if the
that's where those disclosures on those properties become very, very
you go through the disclosures.
Okay.
Every HUD property, there's a disclosure on there, anything you purchase, and it ultimately has everything. And they've done an inspection on the property. Okay. It's not as thorough inspection as a typical home inspector would do. But it gives you a general idea of what condition the property is in.
And the buyer, once they're into contract, has how long to do their home inspection?
Every HUD home, you have 15-day home inspection, provided it's an insured sale.
Gotcha.
Okay. If it's an insured sale, you have 15 days from the date of contract execution to do your inspections.
Gotcha.
If you find something that was not mentioned in any report, then you can cancel the contract, get your good faith deposit back.
Gotcha.
Again, provided you supply proof of that. If you did your own home inspection, it's going to be extremely hard to supply the proof because it does have to has to be on a report stating that you found the following repairs.
Right.
And since the home purchase is as is sale, no repairs can be completed prior to the close of escrow. That puts it in a position that you can cancel.
Gotcha. Now, let's talk about overbidding, especially in today's market. I think this is so critical to talk about. What happens when you overbid on a HUD property?
Well, overbidding on a HUD property, if you're using FHA financing, you have to come in with a difference. If you bid $2,000 over the appraised value, you have to come in with a difference.
Appraised value or sales price, whichever is less. That's what your financing is going to be based upon.
If the property is appraised at $100,000, the list price is $70,000, you can bid up to $100,000.
Gotcha.
As long as you do not go over the appraised value.
Perfect. Real critical, especially in today's market. My gosh, it being so competitive. Every single time there is an offer that we receive an email from the asset manager, and the offer's been accepted, the first question is, the call goes out to the selling agent. What, congratulations. Let's get the pleasantries out of the way. And is your offer FHA financing? So critical because if they're unfamiliar with FHA financing, it can be disastrous as far as the client's concerned.
Yes,
so critical.
That's why you have to deal with an agent that understands the rules, understands the guidelines.
And you'd be happy to be that agent if they did not have someone that they were working with already. And again, realtors are our friends.
Yes.
It's so important to note. We'd be happy to work with anyone, but any agent. However, if it's a situation where that buyer isn't familiar with the process, we can get you signed up with or hooked up with Sal Hernandez, our resident HUD home specialist from Valleywide Homes. Sal, you've sold hundreds of them.
Yes, we keep selling them every day, and they keep going quick.
There you go. Well, if you have any real estate or real estate financing related questions or questions about the information that we've shared with you on today's show, we would love to hear from you. Call us anytime on our off-air number at 800-979-3958 or check out our resources online. You can also listen to past shows from the Real Estate Radio Network on YouTube by going to our website at reofresnohomes.com or just use press 4 keyword
KMJ, call Valleywide
to get connected to us anytime. A special thank you to Sal Hernandez again from Valleywide Homes, our resident HUD home specialist.
Thank you
Sal,
for having me here.
Thanks so much for getting up this morning and sharing with us all your wisdom about HUD homes. A big thank you to Michelle Pettis-Cavalli, my special, try to make it sound French there almost, my special guest host joining us today. And as always, a big thank you to Johnny B behind the mics. Johnny, you make us sound so good. Our goal with the Real Estate Radio Network is to get you the timely and accurate truth about your local real estate market so we can help bring you back home. Don't forget to tune into the Real Estate Radio Network next Sunday at 7 a.m. on 105.9, the FM KMJ. Local news, local talk. Make it a great day, Central Valley. We will see you next week.
The preceding program was paid for by the Real Estate Radio Network.